back from the break. Now, we look at the organized blood donation drive. As the Uganda Free Zones Authority has sponsored a blood donation campaign, which has been successful in raising awareness and increasing the supply of blood in the country. Doreen Kembabazi, the Principal Communications Officer for the Uganda Free Zone Authority, says that a healthy community is one that invests. Pedison Mombere with the report.
The Uganda Free Zone Authority, a statutory body established for the purpose of creating opportunities for export-oriented investment, has partnered with the Uganda Blood Transfusion Service to organize a blood donation drive. The program attempts to increase blood donation rates and solve the nation's ongoing blood shortage. A healthy community, in the opinion of Doreen Kembabazi, the Principal Communications Officer of FUZA, is the one that makes investments.
So a number of our clients are into export-oriented business, but we also know that a healthy community is that community that can invest. So blood donation is a very important element of that community, because you never know when you actually need blood. It could be you, it could be your relative, it could be anyone else. So we hope to sponsor this event to respond to a call by Uganda Blood Transfusion Services, but also to as part of our corporate social responsibility.
According to the Uganda Blood Transfusion Service, the campaign has made a huge success, with many people donating blood. The increased supply of blood has been a significant boost to the healthcare sector, which has been struggling with blood shortages for the years.
We do not buy or import blood. In case of shortages like this, we normally have institutions that we depend on, like the Uganda Police, like the UPDF. They do invite us into their training schools, where we have a lot of young thousands that save or give us, bring that gap during the community time. So these are the people normally we have those organized institutions that bridge the gap during this time of scarcity. And also other companies, not only Uganda Free Zones Authority, we have other companies that also normally bring this gap, like National Drug Authority, they normally sponsor different events. We have like JORAM, they normally sponsor events.
The Uganda Free Zones Authority has emphasized the importance of corporate social responsibility and the need for the businesses to give back to their communities. The blood donation campaign is just one of the many initiatives that Uganda Free Zone Authority has undertaken to support the development of the Uganda healthcare sector.
The Uganda Blood Transfusion Services reaches out to us because of the need for blood. I remember in the COVID times, there was a wider shortage because people were not free to come out, and so we started then to organize blood donation drives. And today in particular, we thought what a better day than the day of Valentine's. This is like the love gift that you give to someone that you don't even know.
According to the Uganda Blood Transfusion Service, UBTS, the demand for blood in the country has been on the rise, with an estimated 1.2 million units needed annually. Despite this, only 250 units are collected each year, leaving a significant shortfall. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, and many thanks for that particular one, and for those who are still watching now, we cross over to another discussion yet tonight, looking at business risk management and what it means to the business community. And joining us this evening, we do have Issa Sechito of the Kampala City Traders Association. And among the key discussions that we're going to have is mainly centered around the traders, of course, in the Kampala capital. Good evening, Mr. Issa Sechito.
Good evening, how are you?
Many thanks for joining us here on Business Today.
Yes.
First of all, I would want to ask you a question regarding yesterday's fire incident. What does it present to the business community?
Yes. You asking me a question
about the fire incident yesterday in Chisenyi. What does it mean to the business community?
It's so unfortunate, and it is not the first fire that has caught traders off target. Several fires have burnt completely businesses in Endeavour, businesses in Bwaise, and those people of Kisenyi, Kiseka, St. Valley Kudembe, and all those places there. It has just been a time bomb. Maybe now that it has happened, sorry about it, but we need to cope a leaf.
So does this mean that the community in downtown Kampala should consider insurance? Have they in any way been considering insurance for such calamities?
You know, some people have a very negative perception about insurance, and unfortunately the Insurance Regulatory Authority and the particular insurance companies have not done enough to calm down so that the jinx that is there to show and threaten traders that you need to have a lawyer, you need to be very formal, you need to be very educated to use insurance services. It needs to be demystified. So many people still think in the old way of thinking that an ordinary person cannot insure a risk and get compensated, which is very wrong. And the insurance companies have not been so aggressive. For Kasita, we have tried very much to be friends and build partnerships with the insurance. The unfortunate bit with the insurance companies in particular areas and in a special way do not come up so that they can set a program of sensitizing traders, drivers, and what they do, they so much believe in commissions. And these people we are dealing with, telling them about commissions, there is no deliberate effort by them to go aggressive like banks have done, like other organizations have done, like telecommunication companies have done. They put aside a budget so that they go into the business community and sensitize them about the rights and obligations regarding insurance. So that is why the insurance coverage by the business community is still as low as
But when you look at some of the traders, for example, those especially under Kampala City Traders Association, some of them do seem uninterested in insurance or taking up insurance covers. Why do you think it is so? Is it because they are afraid that their money may go into something that is not profitable, or do they lack knowledge? Like, because you've said we should be able to give them more awareness about insurance.
Come again?
I'm saying most of the business individuals and traders under Kasita, for example, some of them seem uninterested in insurance. What do you think it is so?
Unfortunately, I'm not getting the question very clearly. I want to answer when I actually get you.
Well, I can give you the question again. Sorry for that. My question is, why does it seem like the business community or the traders in Kampala and of course in Uganda look uninterested in taking up insurance?
Yeah, I think, like I told you before, I personally insure. Members of the executive insure. And the enlightened people, unfortunately, insure. But the enlightened people are not the rich people. You know, so many people that own property at times have low levels of education. You talk about insurance and you think it is for the formal class, it is for government, it is for big organizations, yet the SMEs are more vulnerable. I was discussing with one of the rich men around Kampala, and what he was telling me is that it is people with the medium incomes that should have responded very much to insurance. What is the fact? The fact is if you have a Kamunye that you have bought 65 millions. And you have sold everything you have so that you have business in form of a taxi making business. How dare you put it on the road and risk not getting insurance? You know, if you lose it, you have lost the entire business. The rich person today, he loses a Lexus. The other day, we'll call for a Lamborghini. He has the capacity. Unfortunately, those ones that have the capacity to order for more are the ones that are insured. I will tell you that it is a very bad experience. When you go to the drivers, many people around town are driving very expensive cars, even the taxis you see. If the bond people who sell the vehicles are still demanding them, the insurance coverage is there. If they finish to pay the bond people that are selling the vehicle to them, then insurance ceases. You are imagining. You are paying money because the vehicle belongs to you and the selling party. The moment it becomes yours, it becomes useless so that you do not insure that vehicle. So is the business. You look at where you have come from. You have sold your property, you have sold part of your land, some of it is even inherited, you have not worked for it. You get to business, you have 100 million, praise God. From 0 to 100 million. And somebody tells you by paying like 4 to 3 or even less millions out of 100 millions, if you have a risk, you are going to be put back. And that is what we call indemnity. We are putting you back at the original position where you are. My car got stolen. I have some little business in transport. It was a self-drive. Somebody filled the forms, went away, left every details that are mandatory, and they drove away 1, 2, 3 weeks, full month, no seen anywhere. Went to the insurance company. I proved it to them that the man that took the vehicle had a professional license, registered details. I had even a national identity card, but this person decided to disappear with the vehicle. Within 3 to 4 weeks, they were calling me to acknowledge my check of 32 million shillings. After like 1 year, somebody had stolen the vehicle and even changed the color. When they arrested it, took it to Odi Kampala police, they called me to verify whether it is the vehicle that I sold. Unfortunately, it was a different color, but the number plates were the same. So the insurance took away that scrap. I had already replaced the vehicle because I had a contract with one of the insurance companies. And it's not the first. Many people are hitting us left and right. You just call your agent, comes to verify the validity of the problem, and you'll be compensated. Casita has tried more often than not to come up with a customized way of sensitizing the business community about the importance of insurance and insuring for every risk. Do you know that most of the traders even ship goods from Guangzhou, from Dubai, and from all walks of life, yet they have not insured anything at all? What we decided to do as the business people is to pay 1.5 insurance to Uganda Revenue Authority, yet we should have paid 0.3 or less for a fully covered insurance contract. So this ignorance among us stars, in fact, is causing us more harm than good, and yet there is nobody ready to put a package down so that we customize it, go down, sensitize every business person so that those ones that are going to face the risk that are like our brothers and sisters faced are the ones that are adamant.
Now, lastly, Mr. Sechito, what you did mention that Casita is doing all that that is necessary to ensure that the traders are encouraged to at least come up and get insurance covers or go in for insurance schemes. What is the way forward now? Lastly, what is the way forward for the traders? Yes.
The way forward, one, it is important that some of these policies are made mandatory. For example, when you are transporting cargo from Dubai, from China. Can you please, government, come up with a policy that you should insure for the good of you? The one for third party is compulsory. It is little money. It needs to be added on and improve the package. But at least it's there, and we must do it. Some of these policies, like the transportation of cargo from overseas and bringing goods here without insurance, I don't think it is very wise to leave it to the business people to decide, or else they're putting themselves at very high risk. For these small and medium traders in Chikubo, in Nakasero, in Iseka Market, in Chisenyi, in the different townships and cities that have been created, some aggressive companies needed to come up, put packages on the table, customize them, and work with the local associations so that they go door to door. We had a jinx sometime. The relationship between Uganda Revenue Authority and the business community was not so, was just very, 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 very bad. When URA8 decided to come and go into businesses and sector meetings, what we call the tax clinics, today even an ordinary person we call a commissioner of customs, a commissioner of internal audit, a commissioner of any kind, and tell them about the injustices that they are being exposed to. UNBS, the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, is massively coming to the business community now, and complaints that would become bad, that would even cause scuffles, are reducing. About insurance. Yes. Insurance is business. Some companies need to come up. Don't leave it to the only insurance regulatory authority, but particular companies customize the packages according to the demands of small and medium people. Insurance will be a very safe haven for everybody.
Many thanks for joining us this evening, Mr. Issa Sechito.
Thank you very much, my brother.
And have a good night.
And good night.
Now, to all the viewers here watching Business Today, that is Mr. Issa Sechito, who is the spokesperson for Kampala City Traders Association, who is giving us an insight on the business management, especially around business risk management, and how the business community can adopt and head into insurance by definitely getting themselves an insurance cover or applying for an insurance scheme. Now, let's speak matters boosting agricultural productivity in the country. The Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources is currently conducting the project assessment of a solar irrigation system, which is aimed at improving agricultural productivity in eastern and northern Uganda. Now, Honorable Emmanuel Otara, the chairperson of the committee, advised Nexus, the company implementing the project, to ensure that all regions in the country have access to the system. Martha Nimsima reports.
The Ministry of Water and Environment, in partnership with Nexus Green, has committed $90 million in order to assist farmers in getting water for irrigation, particularly in dry parts of eastern and northern Uganda, where over 30,000 farmers will benefit. Speaking to the Chief Operations Officer of the UK-based Nexus Green Company Limited, Engineer Maurice Barige, he states that they are paying 85% of the project, while the government supports 15% of the project through FONI funding and by granting land in various regions.
If this project is completed and everything done very well, it's expected to contribute over 3% of the national GDP. It's quite an important figure because you're talking about, first of all, reduction of tariffs in water-stressed areas where they've been having water supply challenges. And then for the irrigation sites, you have support for the farmers in agronomy services, introducing planting seasons all year round, instead of a traditional tool, which can also not be relied upon. And the fact that ultimately, with water all year round, you can grow high-value crops, even for export. So all those are taken into consideration. And we think that the total figure that actually the project can contribute to the GDP is about 3.4–3.5%.
Furthermore, he asked the Environment and Natural Resource Committee to assist them speak with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development so that funding may be released to help the project.
You find some communities, it's a democratic institution, it's a democratic country, so trying to convince people that this particular water is for everyone. Some people look at it as if it's for only the persons where the sites are. for example, these homes here, and you have to go through the process of commencing them, getting community buy-in. This is one area we have also brought up to the mention of the members of parliament to do more sensitization, to say, look, these are pilot schemes, they're intended to help you. Ultimately, they contribute to economic well-being, and ultimately, they improve your economic livelihood.
Honorable Said Wambede, a member of the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources from the Northern Division of Mbale City, evaluated the solar irrigation projects in order to identify obstacles preventing the project's expansion.
I know these areas of Teso and part of this is water stripping. But for government to supplement such a project, it's a very good thing. I will give you an example. The nearby here is a town center. But the national water, well, I'm promising us that we hope to come very soon. But generally speaking.
Once finished, the urban water supply system will be accessible to 15,000 people, as well as more than 5,000 persons in rural areas. With irrigation systems, Uganda will guarantee 5 million Ugandan shillings in revenue per acre per season, generating 4.6 trillion, or more than 3% of the nation's GDP annually. Martha Nimsima, Samuel Kirimonda, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, now, multi-choice does look like a beacon of hope for the Ugandan movie industry. As when you look at the movie industry in Uganda, it generates more than $50 billion in revenue each year. That is global, and that is according to studies by the filmmakers. Now, if the Ugandan filmmakers had access to capital, an established film infrastructure, and an effective film regulatory framework, the industry would benefit from the income. MultiChoice has expanded its local content selection by launching a number of channels in Uganda, including Pearl Magic and the sister channels Ugandan filmmakers can use to promote their content. In this report, Ronan Nahaba brings you more details on how the movie industry is changing lately.
According to experts, Uganda's entertainment sector has lagged behind because of a lack of government funding and inability to attract external investment. Nevertheless, the president met with prominent American film industry professionals last year and made a commitment to assist Uganda's film and creative industries. Salvador, a Ugandan entertainer, exposes the difficulties encountered in the film industry.
And Pearl Magic Local come through and they say, listen, bring your story. If we love it, we are going to fund it and we'll give you the platform to air. This is the beginning of the evolution. This is the beginning of the closure of the gap that you are talking about, because I've had this show, the Salvador show, since 2009. It has been in my head, but I've had no avenue to let it out because everyone I wanted to partner with, no disrespect to the local TV stations, most of them that I wanted to partner with will say, osobola kuja ne sponsor na kutekamu sente, and then we air your show. Yet I'm bringing for them content.
He further adds that NGOs and governments can only fund projects with a humanitarian cause, which sidelines other creative projects.
I think the gap has always been accessibility to platforms. We've never had a platform which freely comes and says, you know what, Uganda, we know you are storytellers, tugenda batekamu sente. Most of the time you shoot a movie, you shoot a comedy show, you shoot a series, and you have to pay the TV station to air. That is how the tradition has been. So guys were afraid. Guys were afraid to explore those opportunities, those platforms, because they used to charge us. And remember, we do not have avenues where we get money, we get funding to shoot these movies. If it's a documentary, it has to be humanitarian related. It's not about telling stories.
MultiChoice through Mnet has moved in to create a platform for local content. In conjunction with various filmmakers in the country, they want to highlight the voices of local filmmakers. However, it would be interesting to know which film directors are eligible for receiving such commissions and how significant they are.
But what's important is that every film, every series has a cost to it. Now, that is not done here locally in Uganda. And I think for us, that's a very important element because it takes away from the thoughts and feelings of things like, oh, they've given this to this person, maybe someone knows, you know, this kind of thing. So all these conversations are done on an online platform that we have provided by Mnet, and that's where people submit their scripts, submit their stories. And so all those conversations are held with people who do not know any of the Ugandans who are doing this work. which for us allows for transparency.
Ugandan dramas are fiercely competitive in all areas, and the commissioned shows continue to provide a growing amount of talent for the entire film industry. MultiChoice's contribution will enhance Ugandan film industries with local content and attract foreign viewers, opening up opportunities for investment in the film industry. This is also a hotbed for job opportunities for several film crew members, especially young people. Rona Nahabwe, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Big report, big story, big concern. Let's have a recap of our news headlines.
In Business Today, Uganda advised to diversify its coffee export markets to manage price fluctuations. General Katumba promises to tighten security at Entebbe Expressway amidst increased vandalism. The Uganda Free Zones Authority gives back to community by sponsoring blood donation activities.
It's officially 10 p.m. East African Standard Time, the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, and I do hope the business community has been able to capitalize and make some good money on such a fruitful day of showcasing love and affection in the world. I'm SSONKO, and I've definitely been in here for business today. Till tomorrow, have a good night. We've been coming to you live from Block 42 Nile Avenue from the entire newsroom, editorial and the production here at Smart 24 TV. We wish you a good evening.